What's up guys, Spider Dude here. Welcome back to another Marvel Rivals video. This game has been one of the funnest? Is that a word? It's been one of the most fun experiences in a game, in a new game especially, that I've played in a long time. Maybe that's because I haven't really played many games like it, because I never really hopped onto the Overwatch bandwagon. I didn't really like it. But this is Marvel characters, and if you know anything about me, it's kind of my jam. So, anyway, today I'm going to share with you 10 different things that I've learned personally that have improved my experience so far in Season 0. Getting straight into it, tip number 1, I would say change your character based on the goal. Look, I have my mains, and I definitely have my favorite characters for sure, but sometime Iron Man, stop talking, okay? For 1 second. There are times in the game where you're going to need to change your character based on what's happening. Based on what other characters there are. Just be dynamic with the character changes, because sometimes sticking with one the entire match can put you significantly behind. Next tip is actually something in the settings, and this is very important. So come over here to audio, then come over to combat mix. Now, I recommend playing around with all of these settings because these heavily affect what everything sounds like, and sometimes I know, especially for me, the way certain things sound can definitely improve or, hinder my game experience. So if, healing others is too loud, being healed is too loud, if damage volume is too loud, that one especially, the announcer volume even, you can turn it all the way off if you need to. Just do what you need to do and, play around with it. Practice. Speaking of practice, I also recommend using the practice range. Using the practice range has been one of the most amazing things for me so far, because it really gives me a good sense of what each character can do and all of their abilities. So I would use the practice range if I were you. Next up is another settings tip, and this one you're going to want to go over to controller or keyboard if you're playing on keyboard, back over to combat, and you can actually change the hero for all this, but just play around with these settings as well. I recommend especially playing with the reticle size and all of that stuff. This is a different account. This is not the account that I use most of the time, so all of my stuff is pretty default. But if you change out the reticle, it could probably help you a whole lot, especially if this just isn't good for you. So you can do, and look at all this stuff too. Hold the wall crawl, hold to run on walls. I mean, all that stuff. You can change all of this. You can change the reticle type between circle, crosshairs, dot, circle and crosshairs, and all sorts of good stuff. Next up is something I sort of briefly covered in a different video. I'll put that up in the card right on your right side. But it's the discounted skins, or sometimes completely free skins. And I actually discovered a different way to get even more units. So come over to community, and you can get units for signing up on your Discord, as well as basically there's like this affiliate program right here. So each time you assemble an ally, or in other words, recruit your friends basically, and they reach level 10, you get 300 units. That's amazing. So for someone like me, with this assembly code right here, feel free to use it. I mean, if you want. So for someone like me who has a YouTube channel, it really works out because I can share this code and I get some units, and then you guys can do the exact same thing if you have some friends, even if you just want to do it with a couple of people. Some units are better than no units, right? So there's that, and also this skin that I'm wearing at the moment, there is a way to get this skin for completely free. That's in the video at the top right of your screen. And yeah, there's a lot of ways to get currency without necessarily spending a whole bunch of money. um, as well as specific proficiency. So each hero has proficiency, and these right here, these missions, you can do them over and over and over and over again, and you get rewards for it. And once you reach the, I think captain, Lord. So once you reach like the max, once you reach max, your avatar is different for the character. That's pretty cool. And then you unlock some stuff. Very cool. So just be aware of what you can and cannot unlock before you go dumping 10s, 20s, 30s, 40s, $100 into the game. Trust me, it's going to save you some pennies. This next tip is pretty useful and something that not a lot of people are doing, I don't think. So the next one is visit the official Marvel Rivals website. It gives you insight on each individual heroes and even their specific abilities that the game itself doesn't tell you. Like damage fall off, as in when you're a certain distance away from somebody, what damage will you do and at what point does it start decreasing? All of that information is on the website and it's very useful for anybody. Next tip. So this game obviously is third person and you see this reticle in the middle and that's where you can shoot. See? So whatever, right? But let's talk about which way to peek really quickly. So if you peek from this side, say you're peeking from this side, the characters on the other side of this wall can only see a very small portion of you. So it's better to peek from this area and you can even see at what point your shots will be blocked. Like if you're behind a wall. See, there we go. See, I'm not going to be able to shoot anybody right now and it'll tell you that. But I can shoot somebody from here and a very tiny amount of me is exposed. If you're coming out this way, they're going to be able to see you and they'll probably have gotten like 1,000 shots in you before you're able to even get one because you're so exposed. Next up, utilize your environment. Now what I mean by this is a lot of the environment is very destructible. Like these rails right here, those are destructible, but in most cases, this is the practice range map and not a lot is destructible here.
I don't think that's the welcoming committee.
But most maps have like destructible walls and such. So the way to just avoid having to learn what is destructible and what's not is using your little, I like to call it detective mode because I'm an Arkham fan. I really don't know what it's really called, but for me it's right on the D-pad, but you can check what it is for you in the settings or even change it if you want. But if you click it, you can see what is destructible highlighted in yellow. And this will give you new line of sights and new ways to kill all your opponents. So there you go. The environment is something I've lacked on, and when I started utilizing it, I started winning a lot more games. Next up is the individual characters' team abilities, and this is something that I completely ignored when I first got the game, but these are actually very useful, and I had no idea how overpowered they were. But certain characters have different abilities with other characters, and it actually does a lot of damage, and some are just stupid. Like, I get frustrated when other people use it. I feel like I should be the only one able to use the team abilities. But anyway, yeah, the team abilities are super crazy, and use the team abilities. Just see what characters are playing as what, and team up with someone. Team up with someone. It helps. I'm like stuttering a whole bunch, but it helps. So just try it out. Next up, we have one of the most important tips for when you are battling another team and you have communication with your own team members. Make sure, or even when you don't, but make sure you're protecting your strategists. Please protect your strategists. They are the ones that heal you. So if you have your duelist and tanks protecting your strategist, they can heal you. Because look at Mantis's health right now. 275. It's very weak compared to that of like Thor at 600. So let these guys right here be the shield, basically. No pun intended with Captain America right here. Just protect your strategists because they can heal you, and having that health when you're being bombarded by 6 other players is definitely important. Alright, and that's all the 10 tips that I can give to you for now. I'm sure I'll have different videos out later in the future for sure, because this game is very expansive and I can't wait to see what they do with it. But a little bonus tip, tip number 11, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you want more tips and more guides and more whatnot and more everything, including Marvel Rivals. So with all that being said, that's the end of the video. I'll see you guys next time. Be legendary. Peace.